Sometimes you gotta leave a Naga behind. You can't take everybody with you. Sometimes you gotta leave a loved one behind. Sometimes you gotta leave family behind. Not for good, but you gotta allow a Naga to catch up. Sometimes you feel like you're going real slow because you're trying to drag everybody with you. You're trying to make everybody see your vision. Understand what you're saying. They still don't get it. They still popping off, you know what I'm saying? Whatever they want to do. They still out of code. The purpose of the Prester John investigation is to get on code. Let's not make it, no more complicated. Life is complicated enough, right? The purpose of us talking about King David is not to, toot our horn about how good of an investigation, this is, or how good of investigators we are. No, the purpose is to seek the Creator. Khan David brings us back into the mythological. Things that they say were fables and just fancies and dreams. And we begin to visualize again our greatness. And when we see our greatness, it's impossible to be blind. It's impossible not to see HaWah. It's impossible not to see the grand vision, the greater light. And it makes you humble, man, because you're like, how could I fall so far? Or I thought I was in North America, boss. Hey, out to the tribe, man. Welcome to the 111th investigation of Prester John. I'm proud to surf this wave with you. Click the links below. You get the full playlist. Let's get out of here, man, because we out of here, babe. Yeah, man, sometimes, you feel a little heavy because you're trying to drag everybody with you, man. And, sometimes you got to fight, that fight for a Naga to, stay on the wave with you. And other times, you're going to let that Naga get wavy. Let that Naga swim, you know what I'm saying? Let that Naga see that the wave is real. That you're not just giving them some inconsistency, you're giving them steady water. You know what I mean? If that's too much, if that's going to drown a Naga because it's too much water, too much mem sauce, what you going to do, man? You got to let that Naga sink or swim. They're going to have to choose up because at the end of the day and in the beginning of the top of the soul, we need Nagas that's going to keep us going, keep us motivated. We can motivate you all day, but we need to be motivated too. You know what I'm saying? We need Nagas, pushing us forward. We can't try to slow down and make sure you see our perspective, okay? So if you're surfing the wave and Prester John 111, and if we popping off, it's because we've taken a long time to slowly figure things out. So when we start speeding up, don't act like we leaving you behind. We ain't leaving nobody behind. We just popping off because sometimes the wave swells up and you gotta say HaWah as you pop off again, man. Get your breath, your security, man. Yeah, man. We getting mappy already. Cartography 101. A-hop to the con. I believe it's God's Where, something like that. I'm going to check it out in the drop chat. A-hop to my Nagas in the drop chat. Popping off. Let me know what you are inspired by the Prester John investigation. I'm inspired by this map. Not sure what year it is, but it's very, this is something that you can get a lot of the story just by seeing what the cartographers are putting together, just by getting a little mapping. Shalak, okay. I got my tea. Let's pop off, man. You already know it's going to be a great one. We see Cateo. I see the island. This island harbors the giants. Okay. 12 something in height. Pitch black. Okay. Black ass giants. Okay. It says the Sea of India are 7,548 islands crammed with gold. 7,548 islands crammed with gold. Now, I know you're probably thinking, this is Asia. Asia on the other side of the earth plane. Nah, my nigga, this ain't Asia on the other side of the earth plane. This is India Superior. This is Cathay. Cateo. You know, Cateo. What's that? Gustavi. We get mappy. We get mappy. Yeah, we're going to get into this land of Prester John, A Flight to the Land of Prester John by James Baldwin. And just take our time with it because he's talking about some pretty mythological things. All right. India Superior, Cathay. Cateo. Come on, come on. We ain't slowing down, man. Y'all knockers, man. Hey, hold on to your boot bones. Asia, America, Cathay. Cathay. So we got maps from 1530s, 1540s, 1560s. All this Grand Tartary and Tartary talk. We're just talking North America on these maps. We're talking China, which Marco Polo calls Cathay. India, right? We got South America and Asia connected, right? Asia Major. See, they call it Asia Minor over there, man. Little Demai Jiggy was saying, someone he was talking to, was talking about, you know, uh, Africa and all that over there, and he called it Asia Minor. And he's like, yeah, so that lets you know by default there's an Asia Major or India Superior or Cathay. Right, all right. The wave surfers know this. So we see Cathay, we see Asia, right? Parias or Mexico or Paradise or Florida in America. The land of Prester John. So when we see Asia, don't go crazy. Have some cognitive dissonance. Asia's Asia. And Cathay is Cathay. There's a bunch of stuff on this map. We're talking Tartary, right? The Prince of Tartary, my nigga. It's the Prince of Tartaria. And Grand Tartaria, my nigga. According to Cartoon Marina, 1561. Grand Tartary. I mean, come on, man. Dig on it, man. I can't make this stuff up. Can't do it. Asia. Cathay. And Grand Tatar. So this Khan, Ulu Beg, B-E-G, something like that. The greatest prince of all Tartary. The richest ruler in the world, man. It sounds like Mansa Musa. Is he holding up the golden apple too? Desert of the Indies. Which one, right? The Indies. There's multiple Indias. And now we got all these islands, right? Now we in the islands where there's 7,000 islands with nothing but gold. Come on, man. We know we're talking America, boss. Asia Major, Tartari, India Superior. This is amazing map drive right here. We just surfing the wave. And the drop, chatter, chatter. So, wow, man. I'm just getting in when I can, where I can. I see an opening, I'm taking it. Pop off to share a great moment with y'all niggas right here that I know you are equally invested, man. You know, we've been through so much in our personal lives. You know, some people got, you know, a lot of people there for them. Some people don't got a lot of people there for them. You know, sometimes we got to just figure out what we made of, you know what I'm saying? You know, what's on the inside of us, man. You might be surprised what's on the inside of you. You know, you might be surprised what a naga's made of, man. You know, when you really get that opportunity to find out. And when you know, can't nobody take that away from you. You know what I'm saying? When you've been through a situation or two, that you got to know you realize you know you now more than you knew you before. And you know you definitely more than all these jabronis know you. And you know, they don't know what's inside of you. They don't know what's in your heart. They can only guess, right? They can only inquire. But the proof is that you don't stop, my naga. The proof is that you don't quit, my naga. Can't nobody question that. Can't nobody question us, because we still here. What's in our heart, it must be something that keeps us going. It must be something that keeps us, you know, with the breath and with the security. You know, we staying on code, man. You know, we still taking the wheel. Hey, Hop the research guy, man, dropping these book drops. Yeah, the French know, the Indies, the indigenous niggas, they just found here rocking them feathers. Let's go. Hey, out to the Condrelin car, man. I'm gonna read this, man. You know, with great honor in my heart bone. And I asked the cons, you know, a few of the cons to come over here and just let me know what the Prester John investigation means to them. You know what I'm saying? What it, how it's inspired, man, and you know how the energy's been flowing. And hey, how to the con, Draylen car. Let's go, man. What it do? Drop Nation. Yeah. Okay. MHOE forever. Ever. Hey, out to the cons, man. MHOE, man. Most high over everything. Forever. Forever even. But no, real talk. Drop Nation. Drop Five Eyes, Ty Badzon, Jay Stu and his lady, man. Nine Spiral. Crazy ass, man. Y'all changed my life and lead me to my purpose in the most high 100. Can't forget that in Callaway and Cootie Mayo. Y'all changed my life. When I first heard of the investigation, it was from Cootie Mayo. But when I made it to Cootie after self most high graduation from Dane Calloway on up to Cootie Mayo, and he was dropping that fire that enriched the sharing I got from Octane. He always said, if you want more on it, check out King Drop, the name at the time. After I got finished with the American Indian to African American or something like that, my spirit said, okay, let's check Drop out. Man, I just took off from there. It gave me such a purpose, a child that was lost, always asking the questions. Where do I come from? Where did I come from? And why am I here? Why are you? Or why are you? And what if, as I fell to the ground, crying and praying, asking and begging the universe, since I didn't know who our Halal was, but I knew for damn sure it wasn't the hijack. Drop Nation, was at least at Prester John Part 20 when I started, and the first two videos opened my heart and soul with the mountains were trees and the trees singing and crying out to us so hard. The semantics and the Eber flow, which was already one of my favorites from the book with Jay Stu and his lady, put the icing on the cake for me. A young 21-year-old just learned that the world is at war with us, the niggas of America. And I don't know at that time why the world hated us so much and why the BS in school and all around me, like if I was an alien here, dropping the whole entire Drop Nation, help answer all them questions for me and even more. Because of y'all, I'm able to teach my children correctly and righteously. Wow. Praying for the Most High forever. All glory, praise, and esteem to the Most High. HaWah, power of my fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, and Hawashua, Joshua, our power. Halal HaWah. Come on, cons. Come on, cons, man. Let's just absorb that. Let's absorb that. It's a moment to absorb that you, Drop Nation, have put together a fine meal for a Khan to enjoy with his family, with his children. You have allowed HaWah and to ensure you're choosing up to the highest frequency, you know what I'm saying, to make something like this possible for this Ak right here, Draylen Carr, who's a wonderful Ak, a steady Ak, a real Ak. And I appreciate you, Draylen, for sharing this, man. And I know this wasn't about no hoodies. I promise, I promise, the first few cons up in here gonna get the MHOE. So for sure, you getting that MHOE Sky logo, A-Hop, the my jigger, man. But I know that it's not about the MHOE. Well, it is about MHOE, but not about the hoodie, man. It's not about the hoodie, but it is about MHOE, man. And most high over everything, giving us these moments like this to share. And I really appreciate you sharing this. I know the tribe do. He said, a mini testimony of the love and glory of the Most High in my life. May the Most High, Aloha, HaWah, Baruch, and protect and make abundant tenfolds the works of our hands for the glory and praise of our Alua, Abba, Ama, and Shammai. Hey, my naga, this is pure water flowing, man. ThaWaDa, Draylen Carr. My naga's giving him testimonies. Ahab the Octemi says, Shalom, y'all, peace tribe. Think I hopped on the investigation somewhere around 50. When I fell asleep on it, I picked back up on the last thing I remembered. LOL. Might be one or two new ones I ain't get to yet, but do whatever you feeling at the time. When I first realized what was happening, I thought it was nothing less than breaking news. Hardly anyone I knew seemed to not feel that way. I used to watch camp videos, though. Something seemed off to me. Around that time, I ran into the Moses in America video by Kurimeo. He said, I know I butchered that. And that's how I found 432, man. Hey, Kurimeo, man, you know what I'm saying, has always let a roll, you know what I'm saying, that connects us, everybody, needs to be connected. And we appreciate all the connectivity that's come from the classroom of Kurimeo. As we've always been, connected, you know what I'm saying, with his classroom and the bros always giving extensive recon, man, to add to the investigation. So you see how we all work together, we all do what we do, you know what I'm saying, and it all comes together like a fine meal, you know what I mean? And the bro said, that's how I found 432. Oh, and seems 9 may have found a video of a cow kicking the candle over in Hawaii. Hello, hey, Halal HaWah, man. Big Timmy, what it do? I appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all hit me with them emails, man. I want to make sure you get you a fly, fresh, colorful MHOE sky hoodie, man. Ty Bazan said, I'm feeling the PJ series. I'm freeing the PJ series. Surfing the wave. I'm waiting on the pick drop. I know, Aqua. I got you. I've been telling her that. I've been talking about the pick series since 2016 or so. I said it's coming. Because we just popping off. But you already know, like, that frequency got to be right for it. Because that's going to put together some of the final pieces for us. I already know that, man. I don't want to do it too soon, Aqua. Ready for the Soul Bone. Hey, look out for the Soul Bone podcast, man. Where a con could be a con. Yeah. Let go. Allow. Hey, it's the drop chatter, man. Deal with it, man. Deal with it, man. We got all the cons in here popping off. Top Battle's just dropping that drop. Like she always do. Hey, out to the Copper Bread. Brutal Khan, my naga dropping that drop. Shout out to you, man. God's weird, yeah, man. Here we go. With the great map drop. Shalom. Getting real mappy, man, you know. Confat, what it do? Oh, he's popping off with some tribal music. You know what, man? We're going to come back. I'm going to get this Prester John, James Baldwin drop as promised. We're going to come back and do this, man. Surf the wave here. I'm a belly flop. Might want to get back in that David Rubini flow. I don't know, man. I just got some tabs up, if you don't mind, my niggas. If you got some time for me, I got some time for you. And we're going to surf the wave, man, and spend some of that time. Matter of fact, before we even get the Prester flow, couple things, man. Couple things. Like I said, MHOE is popping off, and y'all wasted no time, my nigga. And letting us know, man, that you care and that you want to support, and that you feel like rocking this con on your chest, man. This MHOE, man. This priestly flow. First commandment flow. No power before our power flow. That's that priesthood on your chest, man. And Ma, just gave such a beautiful look, excellent design to it, and all the colors are just popping off with it. So we just hitting you big and bold with the logo. We're gonna get the joints where it got the smaller patches and stuff like that. Letterman jackets, my naga, ponch. We stepping up with Most High fashion. So this is stuff we want to wear. This is stuff that we trending with. You know what I'm saying? Trending with the Most High on our harp. And we're going all the way up with it. Ahab, all the cons that support us. Ahab, you know what I'm saying? Just the Marley family, man, is just giving a lot of support to this, man. They really are enjoying it. Lauren Hill gave a great, shout out on it that we shared before. So Ahab, the Aqua, Lauren Hill, man, for supporting MHOE as well. And, we got all the colors available. Everything's 36. You know what I'm saying? And, just pop off, man. How you looking, man? How you flowing, Con? I mean, which flow is your flow? Okay, oh yeah. That Phineas flow. Yeah, I had that Royal on today. I love that sky blue flow. You got that fuchsia? Yeah, man. I mean, my naga, which flow is your flow? You let me know. All black? Okay. Yeah. The white joint, the gray joint. Which flow is your flow, my naga? We talking MHOE, man. So keep supporting cons, keep supporting the drop, and just know that we're doing it for y'all. It's happening in real time, and this helps us build in real time. Ahab for supporting Joy World, allowing us to build our flow steadily. We're almost at 20,000 that we raised for our fence project and other projects that will be continuing on the land. So we got y'all and you got us, and that's what we care about. MHOE, click the link below. Choose your color right now. We got, this one hoodie flow we're going right now. Then we're going to get some beautiful garments going after this as well. Some more shirts, you know what I'm saying? Some more athletic gear, but some more, upscale gear. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go crazy. Have a good time, man. This is MHOE, man. And enjoy it, man. My jigger, Ahab to Yukon. You know what I'm saying? For just believing in what HaWah gave you, you know what I'm saying? As a rhythm, as a flow, as tribal music, we call it. You know what I'm saying? This MHOE It's truly coming, man, from the purest of Ruachs, man, my Jigga, who really wants to do it for the Most High over everything and build for the tribe. He got the tribe on his heart, so everything he's designing, everything Five Eyes Miles popping off with, it's coming from that Ruach, man, that heartbone and Drop Nation. So y'all supporting, I'm getting your orders already, and we working on them and getting them out and popping off already. So ThaWaDa to the cons. Let's go, man. Let's put this up. Psalms 24. This was on my heartbone. This is going to lead us right where we want to go, man. Hey, Prester 1:11. Can you believe it, man? Can y'all believe it, man? Wow. Wow, wow. Let's go. And you came here for the vibration, not just the information. You came here for the vibration. This is Psalm of David, Psalm 24. The earth is HaWah's and the fullness thereof. Now, I don't want to just skip right past that. That's really saying quite clearly that the entire earth plane is HaWah's, is the creator. They doing wars for longitude and latitude, my land, your land. The whole earth is HaWah's. If you ain't in code, you don't deserve none of it. It don't belong to you no more. It's like you gave your child the best, gift ever for whatever, You gave them the best gift ever. But they ain't listening, so you take it back. It is theirs. I mean, you gave it to them, but it's yours, because it's yours. You know what I'm saying? You pay for it. So, it's that type of situation, man. The earth is HaWah. So HaWah gonna take the earth back if you out of call. All right, the fullness of it, the world, and they that dwell in it. For he has founded it upon the seas, founded it. To be founded is to be fixed, is to be not movable, Manak, right? It has been founded upon the seas. You're not on a spinning ball. You can't be on a spinning ball and be founded upon the sea. And HaWah established it upon the floods. Established, Manak. Who shall ascend into the mountain of HaWah, and who shall stand in his holy place? He that has clean hands and a pure heart, he who has not taken my name in vain, he who has not sworn deceitfully, he shall receive Baruch, a blessing from HaWah, and righteousness from HaWah of his salvation. Such is the generation of them that seek after him, that seek thy face, even Jacob. When Jacob seeks the face of the Creator, Jacob gets that Baruch. Jacob gets salvation. This is it. This is all about Jacob. Yeah, the Gentile has a role, right? But we got to still address our tribe. And us addressing our tribe doesn't mean we are boasting ourselves above anyone outside the tribe that they would call a Gentile, all right? We're not putting nobody down. But a family has to have family business, right? You can go about your day and have your friends and all that, but sometimes you need to have a family conversation, right? You could be in a relationship and, have all these people y'all know, but sometimes you got to see eye and eye with your partner, right? Like a marriage, right? And this is what it's like. This is a oath we have with the Creator. Sometimes we got to have a conversation. Sometimes Jacob got to have a conversation. Israel gotta have a conversation. Hasharah gotta have a conversation. Yeah, the cons gotta conversate, right? So when the cons encode, you receive a blessing. Got it. Because you have not sworn deceitfully. You have not taken Allah's name in vain. What's rule number 2? No vanity, right? You want clean hands. You want a pure heart. Such is the generation of them, the generation that seek, like Hosea 3, seek HaWah and Con David. This is a Psalm of David, talking about seeking HaWah. Yeah. We ain't talking about going through a son to get to your to get to the Father. You need to go through the Son. Christianity. Stop it. When I'm hearing these bros and these camps and these sisters and these camps and different things, and they still talking Christ, using Greek words, talking about the anointed of the Greeks. Christ can only mean one thing, Managa. You speak in Greek. It's a Greek word. Anointed. Who's the anointed of the Greeks? And you're lifting it up. I mean, they're more Christians than Christians. They love Christ so much. They say that we ain't got no problem really with Christianity. At least they recognize the true Messiah. Wow. Yeah, I heard this. I'm listening to this. You know, it's turning my stomach muscles. It's a real frequency war. They would rather be side by side with Christianity, not just Christians, because we all got family that's in Christianity, and we're not talking about waging war on people, and not we're talking about the actual frequency war of this doctrine, telling you that no, you don't need to be connected directly to HaWah. You don't need to be connected directly to the Creator. No, you need to go through the Son, through a hijack. And they say, oh, well, if you don't acknowledge the Son, you don't know the Father. And we deal with these Christians because at least they acknowledge the Son. So we just the worst of the heathen to them because we don't even deal with that hijack. We read, right? We see clearly. Seek HaWah and King David. King David, whom I will raise up again. Jeremiah 30. One shepherd forever. King David. Ezekiel 37. Ezekiel 34. Psalms 89. My covenants with David, my firstborn, whom I have anointed with my holy oil. Prince forever. It doesn't say that about JC anywhere in the Tanakh, but they got to use conjecture. Psalms 110. Your Lord said to my Lord. That's JC. No, that's David. Whom HaWah has made his enemies his footstool. Psalms 18. Now we in Psalm 24. Let's go. Verse 7. Lift up your heads, O you gates, and be you lifted up, you everlasting doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? HaWah, strong and mighty. HaWah, mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O you gates. Lift them up, you everlasting doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who then is the King of glory? Managa, who's the King of glory? HaWah of hosts. He is the King of glory. Praise HaWah. For real, for real. Israel wanted a king. They got King Saul. And Saul was a, truly marvelous Naga, powerful Naga, tapped in Naga, high frequency knocking. HaWah was really rocking with Saul, but mainly he rocked with Saul so that everybody knew he was rocking with Saul. He wanted them to know this is your king. There ain't no mistaking about it. He's powerful. He's all these things. This is your king. But then when he really started ruling them like a king, they started, crying out. And HaWah gave them a Khan, Dawid, a prince forever. And David is HaWah's prince forever, chosen from the loins of that Melchizedek priest king flow. But this Khan can only be found when you recognize the true king. The Christians would say Jesus is king. Kanye would say Jesus is king. But my naga, who is the king of glory? Who then is the king of glory? HaWah. He is the king. Khan. Let's go. A flight to the land of Prester by James Baldwin. So I'm going to get it. We're going to take it slow. We're going to keep it going. We got some other drop I want to touch base with back in Prester John Legend and his sources. I want to reread a couple things that, we might have, looked over. And, we still got that Lost Tribes I want to get back into as well. Kind of take it back to the roots with this one, man. This is Prester 111, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's have some fun. King Charlemagne sat in his council hall, and the noblest peers of the realm stood before him. Who now, for the love of our dear nephew, said he, will seek for him and bring him back, that we may see him happily restored to his right mind. And Duke Naaman answered, my lord, such wonder was never known that a madman should recover his senses. And however much we have loved him, the Roland whom we once knew is now no more. Only a shadow remains where there was a man before. And Renaud of Montalban said, there are other knights in your service as loyal and brave and as true as ever our cousin Roland was. Trust them to uphold your power and defend your kingdom. So just right quick, this is amazing work. The story of Roland. Man, I don't know if I stumbled on it. I don't know if somebody dropped it. I don't know, but it's here. It's here now. It's here now, man. And I just love how a lot of this is coinciding with the Kalalus flow, the Forbidden Histories of America flow. You got the Ogier, the Swan Night flow, you know what I'm saying? This Cathay flow, you know what I'm saying? We just talked about Cathay, right? Cathay is Katai, right? Back to the Joktan, because Joktan is also Kitan, and Kitan is also Katai, and Katai is also Cathay. So if Joktan is Kitan is Cathay, and Joktan is also Yucatan, Joktan is Yucatan. Yeah, man. Then you got the Mexica Moshe flow. All this is right here, and it's right in her Facebook. Cathay is Yucatan. You know what I'm saying? Cathay is Mexico, which is why Cathay is right here with Mexico and India superior. So you're going to get a lot of that Swan Night flow over here, man. The ships of Solomon, right? That were shaped like a beautiful gliding white swan. These are the vessels of Solomon, Sylvanus, Sylvius, the Swan Knight. Come on, man. I can't make this stuff up. That there's so much documentation, whether it's poetry, whether it's operas. You know what I'm saying? Shakespeare himself was writing about Prester John. The academia's world is going crazy. Harvard and Yale going crazy. All these Ivy Leagues are going crazy. He's in everywhere we want to look. You know, you want to look into the Bible, then you're going to be in King David flow. One shepherd forever. Prester John and Melchizedek. So no matter what you're looking at, you're going to see a priest king, which is a Melchizedek. Why not? Kalelus. And this is where they got their story Camelot and King Arthur and Lancelot from Kalelus, King David and Lancelin of Kalelus. Let's go. Because we're going to talk dragons. It's going to get real mythological. But I think my noggins are seeing clearly. It ain't no joke. This is not fakery. These knights, these magi, this magic, this naga magic. But you just got to be in code. You can't be out of control with your magi, with your energy, with your frequency, with your vibration. You can't be out of code, man. And Ganelin, the old trader, smiled and said, methinks that this Roland is now well out of our way, and that we shall never more hear it said, behold the king's nephew, the king without fear and without reproach. But Oliver said, my lord, I will follow my brother to the ends of the earth. Rather than not find him, I will bring him back to France, to his home, to his kindred, to those that love him, that through their care and kindness he may be healed. And Astolfo, the poet knight, said, I also will go in search of the lost hero. For although I have neither the strength nor the skill of a warrior, yet who knows but that my fancy in its highest flights may discover the lost senses of Roland and bring them back to their owner. Then Oliver and Astolfo mounted their steeds and rode away, and they pledged themselves that they would never come back to France, nor undertake any other adventure until they should find Roland and see him whole again in mind and worthy to be called the peerless knight. Now it chanced that Astolfo owned a wonderful winged horse. Here we go. It's getting mythological again. He got a flying horse. Or are we just talking flying dragons? I mean, you tell me, flying horse or flying dragon, man? The same creature that had once belonged to Atlantes, the Moorish wizard. Really, really? There's a Moor named Atlantis, huh? Like Atlas, right? And he had a winged flying horse, huh? Or dragon, right? Astolfo had long kept his steed with care and secrecy in his own castle among the mounted peaks, where the wild eagles soared, and the air was fresh and pure, and the busy hum of the laboring world was seldom heard. Sometimes merely to amuse himself, the knight had mounted his winged courser and taken short flights into fairyland, flying on a flying horse or a flying dragon. Soared aloft towards the sun, and he often thought that when Charlemagne's wars were over, he was no longer needed either at the court or in the field. He would take a long flight and stop not until he had reached the farthest boundaries of the earth. Where's the farthest Indies, man? Back to Lost Tribes and Promised Land, man. The farthest India. The farthest boundaries of the earth. So now he hastened back to his mountain castle, resolved to make use of the winged steed in his search for the lost hero. And as they mentioned these Charlemagne wars, remember the Davidic kings in the time of Charlemagne, right? In the Forbidden Histories of America by Daniel Lowe. So you got the Makir, Theodorus, and all that. At that time going to war with other Davids, Solomons and them, you know what I'm saying? So the Solomon Sylvanus flow. But this was, the exilarchs during these times of Charlemagne, according to Forbidden Histories of America. So out of that comes the Swan Knights and all this, which is why I say, James Baldwin really surfing the wave with this Forbidden Histories of America, man. I mean, he at least got the drop on the context, you know what I'm saying, of what's happening right here in America. And if we didn't know that this was America, if we didn't know that these Swan Knights and all this stuff was referring to Americas, man, I mean, what would we do? What would we do? Hold up. Just take a ride with me right quick, man. I gotta pull this document up. Just take a ride with me, man. Cause I want you to see how close. At first, we just talking to Wang, man, right? And then you're gonna see, this is American history we're talking about. all right. Just take a ride with me, man. Let's go to the Drive Library. We're just surfing away, man. We in Nagarville, surfing away. Wow. Let's get to the library. Whew. Yeah. I'm just thinking about the forbidden histories of America, man. It's hard to get to this library and not get a little off track sometimes because it's just so much drop. But I'm going to go real quickly to find this book, Forbidden Histories of America, man. Just hold on to your boot bones. Oh, the Papua. Oh, we got to get back in the Papua. All right, here we go. Ooh, American Holocaust. You already know the annals of the Kakshika. All right, let's go. Ooh, okay. Oh, man. A lot of drop in this library. My whole lot of drop in the library. Yeah. Okay. Whole lot of drop in the library. My naga. All the true history, all the true authorship. Yeah, this is going to break down all them phantoms and duplications, man. For real. Two Babylons. Yep. Enlightenment of the world. Abazai. Hey, let us find the truth, man. Sparked off our original drop library, man. Behold a pale horse. Who knows about it? Or Polo, Prester, John, and the Gypsies. Oh, this got some dragon drop. Hold up, man. I'm gonna have to pull this up too. I gotta do it. Got to do it. Okay, got to do it. Just to have it, maybe for a dish smile, man. Maybe for a dish smile. Okay. It's a nice document, man. Let it load on up. All right, we just gonna have it because that got some dragon drop. I got some dragon drop. We're gonna need that on the way out the door. Hey, Hakan HaWah, let you know about them duplications and phantoms and the Caesar's Messiah. And Yosef, man, he took it all the way home. And I appreciate the bro for finishing the great work of the Hakan HaWah, man. How to the family, man. How to the tribe, man. Let's go. Oh, Benjamin Tadula. Hey, this is when King David walked on water and turned invisible with the magic ring. Remember that? Okay. By now, this is Prester John 1:11, so we'd have been surfing the wave now. Drop on drop on drop. Just take a walk with me, man. Just take a walk with me. Woo. Man, we are getting some dragon drop today. I'm gonna keep this one in mind. I'm gonna keep it in mind. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Woo. Manly P. Hall talking about, hey, America came out the waters first, man. Cootie Mayo broke that down. Hey, out to the bro. History of Mexico and Peru. America's, man. Forbidden Histories of America, the Book of Columba Law, Journey of the Royal Institution of Cornwall. You think we playing Owaspy, Lost Tribes? Managa, do you think we playing? You think we over here, Africans and world's beyond the pole? Managa, you think we playing? You ain't gotta like us, you ain't gotta like what we talking about, but at least you know we are not. We ain't playing. That's what you need to know, you know what I'm saying? So if you're over here surfing the waves because you know we ain't playing, we could do our music, we could do most high fashion, Soul Bone podcast. And at the heart of all these things, we are not playing. We keep our code. We keep our code and we keep the most high over everything. Okay, where we at? Page 63? Yeah, let's go. Page 63. Ooh. All right, I'm just gonna go. Get you happy when this book is open. I get too happy. We're talking Shebas and Shimbalas and all kind of fun stuff, man. Yeah. So as I read this, Flight to the Land of Prester John book, just be mindful. There's a whole history happening in the American empire of Kalaluz, and Kalaluz means promised land. They say Jewish, we ain't talking about no Jews in 700 AD ruling in America. Stop it, boss. Just get that shit up out of here, man. Them people ain't wielding no swords with no dragons on them like they finding in Kalaluz in Arizona and New Mexico and all that. So that's not the same people. These people here that I'm reading about, these became the Toltecs, and then the Olmec Aztec flow, all the indigenous flow are coming out of Israel. This is a promised land conversation. Kalelu's records speak of Theodorus as a leader of the many peoples who leave the Roman lands for Kalelus in 775 AD. Theodorus is none other than the Jewish king of Septimania, a Roman Jewish state in southern France. He is the son of the first Jewish king of Septimania, also called Theodoric, Thierry, Mary, America, but they don't even attribute America to Makir, right? Who is the king of Septimania. They don't attribute the name America to Ameri, the king of Septimania. 7 cities of gold. We're going to get back on the Covera flow and what they're looking for with the Coronado expeditions. And you're seeing how the indigenous American history is coinciding a whole lot with the biblical Hebrew history. It's coinciding a whole lot with this Genghis Khan, Mongol, Kara, Katai, Wang Kong, Prester, John flow. And you see it's all the same thing. And I said body bag for the illusion. A Maru is a Mari, is a more than a more. But which more, right? Which great? I want more. You can only be more if you're coming out the loins of David, of Jacob. We're talking about more, you know what I'm saying? This is what this world war is about. This is what the power struggle to this day is about, keeping these cons docile, keeping them in the NBA and NFL, keeping them busy, keeping them chasing money, sex, drugs, and alcohol, fame. Now they got social media, oh man. Distracted. But pay attention that it says he and his brothers were great warrior, Davidic princes or khans of the time of Charlemagne, right? So I ain't making this stuff up. We got receipts when we talk Charlemagne. This is what we are thinking about. We thinking about the Forbidden Histories of America by Daniel Lowe. We thinking about the time of Charlemagne with the great warrior Davidic princes. That means we're talking David. On the death of his father Makir, so his dad was also Ameri or Makir, which is the mark. Theodoric in about 765, Nehemiah Theodoric becomes the Western Exilarch or the leader of all the Hebrews of the revived Western Roman Empire. So the Eastern Romani were different than the Western Romani. Which one was connected to the actual Romani? When you know that Ramon means what? Ramon in Hebrew means what? Right. And Caleb and Joshua had to find the what to prove that they were in Kalelus or Promised Land. They had to get the pomegranates, right? So the pomegranates come with the title Ramon, and the Ramon is what they're hijacking as the Roman. The one letter rule, Horace Butler, he done told you. The Ramon is the pomegranate, right? So, all right, I'm just covering some bases for my niggas in the back of the class, man. So, Kalelus means promised land. And the Ramon is the pomegranate, proving that you are in the promised land. And we're talking about Nehemiah reconquering, which means that he must have already felt like his family had it at one point, and he's going to war against Solomon the Builder, matching up to, in the days after Solomon, the kingdom's being divided, man. And this is right around this type of turning point where the American Empire, or Jerusalem, or Israel, is being divided by an infighting of Makirs and Exarchs and Davidic princes. Now match that up with the brothers, David's sons, like Anan, like Aniah, like Daniel, like, oh man, who's the other one? Hanan, Canaan, you know what I'm saying? And just the infighting that was even going on between Daniel and Anan, and both of them being raised up as exarchs, but by who? Daniel's in the court of Nebuchadnezzar being raised up, but to his brothers on the outside who are not in, or in captivity, but not in the castle, right? They're not. These are the field Negroes, right? So to the field Negro outside the castle of Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel looked like he's being raised up by the hijack, right? Oh man, you ain't no exarch to us. You ain't no exarch to the field Negro. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, made you ruler, leader of the Jews. Nah, man. Even though they knew that he's Daniel, son of David, but another son of David, Aniah, Anan, he's being raised up by his people, man, right? So you got the Ananites popping off and all that. So you have these warring sections of David in history all over the place, whether biblical, this or that. And this time of Charlemagne seems to be really active in our investigation. And Charlemagne just means great king. So let's just remember, these are just titles. Charlemagne just means great king. 775, Nehemiah Theodoric reconquered the American Empire of Kalalus. Kalalus was ruled by Sylvanus Texas, Solomon the Builder, the hereditary ruler of this Israelite-ruled Rimmon colony. Promised land. Okay. Searching for the Prester. We looking in between the timelines. Kalalus was founded in the 1st century BC by the Babylonian exarch known as Sylvanus Ogan. Exarchs. Whether we talking 700s here, whether we talking 1200s here, 1300s here, we still talking about exarchs and Davids. This one being the son of Raja Chola, Jadaran, Prester John, the Pandion, father of Soliman, who they call the Jewish king of Telmas. So these are all areas to recon this Telmas. Later we'll get this Tahama flow, husband of Labana, Limbu, queen of Rubati, Gadi, and Mani. And would this be Sheba? If that's Solomon, would this be a Sheba? If it's not the Sheba, would it be a Sheba? Because the queens were also, they were coming in a long line of high frequency titles as well. High Amazon queen titles, man. So Sheba, these are rulers. Queen Tamar, you got the prophetess Deborah popping off. How is this flowing in actual history, right? Not their story, but our story. Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh, right? She's the queen of all of them. Wife of Solomon the First, solely. But this solely title even goes back before Prester John, which is very interesting when you look at these type of genealogies. And we got it, because they always cut it off, so they don't say who his father was. But when we start comparing it to the other Jadaron, there's more Solomons and more Davids. And it's like, yo, that's not the first. That's not this first Solomon and David. Nah. It's like we're just picking it up in the story and we talk, biblical situations. They're giving us one shade, 1 degree of the whole pie, of the whole vision. You know what I'm saying? We got to see clearly with a 360-degree dragon fly perspective. Exilarch David. Exilarch David. Western Exilarch and leader of all the Jews. Now we're talking Solomon, right? Because the American Empire Kalelu was ruled by Sylvanus Toltec Soliman, the builder, who is the hereditary, based on bloodline, Khan of the Romani colony. Kalelus was founded in 1st century BC by the exilarch Sylvanus Ogan, who I believe might be King David himself, or a David, or Sylvanus Brabo, who would also be a Soliman by title. These are titles. A Nasi by title. Ruler of Sumer. They say Somerset in Britain, in parentheses. Breton. Or we're just talking Sumer, like Samaria. Uh-oh. But now we back on them timelines again. A great Romani Israelite king. They say Roman Jewish ruler. Romani Israelite king. All right. Sylvanus Ogan is a great promised land American Hebrew Israelite king. All right. Soldier and ancestor of the swan. Right. So we're gonna get back on that. James Baldwin flight to the land of Prester, but they got all the swans in their titles and Cathays. So I just want you to see, man, they coming right out of this particular, frequency of the story, right? Of the American Empire Kalelu. This American Empire is popping off, they say 775 AD. Hey, love to the Templar, man. This could easily be 1775. This could have been, man, your takedown could be so recent, it's crazy, man. It's really embarrassing, you know what I'm saying? Really embarrassing how they changed history so quickly. Ancestor of the Swan Knights, or the Barbar, which is swan, Hebrew word of the day, Hakadzin. He also had a fleet of trading vessels known as the ships of Solomon, or the swan boats. The ships are shaped like swans, with their sails like the wings of a beautiful gliding white swan. Right, and then after the defeat of Sylvanus, or Solomon the Builder, Texas, this royal family were sent to Europe, where they were under the protection of Makir, Nehemiah, Theodorus. So they weren't destroyed, they were protected, but they had to bounce about the spot, right? They had to go. It was still a takeover, but it was a family takeover, a royal family takeover. They weren't sacrificed and slaughtered. Nah, they were sent and protected. In Europe, now you got these royal houses of Europe popping off, right? But where'd they come from? They came from the American Empire. They came from the American Empire. And the royals, the royal family, the real royals were sent to Europe. And this is 775. So they're trying to get their, royalty from these hereditary bloodlines. Nah, man. You are the hereditary swans, man. You are the swan knights, Managa. You are the royals. You are the royal family. This is your American empire. This is your promised land. And septimania means 7 cities of gold. I'm talking about America. You too? You talking about Ameri? Huh? Okay. Swan nights, swan boats. Swan nights, swan boats. So we're gonna take our time and get some more of these chapters. I'm just getting a little bit of this one, but yeah, we'll get into the Princess of Cathay and how Ogier won the sword and the Knight of the Swan. Yeah. When they start talking swan on a nugget, we know where it's coming from now. They didn't tell us we had to recon it, right? They talked about Ogier. Oh man, Ogier won the sword. Oh, okay. Here we go. So the royal family was sent back to Europe under the protection of Nehemiah and his family. The legends of Ogier the Dane actually refer to ThaWaDa the Danan Dunan, who are also known as Maninan or Maine of America. America, boss. America. So the legends of Ogier is all about America. The Dane, Dunan, Mayints, Dun de Mayints, Tuatha, all this is about America. The Irish legend of Regamon also allude to this family. And this is what they took out right there. What about the Olmec flow, right? That's what we missing. But we had to get it. Before it was cut out this book, we had to get that last sentence, boss. They took a whole sentence out on a naga. They took a whole sentence out. We still talking about the Empire Charlemagne. This is off the Conspiracy Cafe, man. Talking about Kaleidus artifacts in Tucson. Yeah. They breaking down the Swan Knights. Remembered in America as Quetzalcoatl. Oh, the white beard, stop it, cut it, man. Cut it. He gonna give us a half truth. A half truth. Then we're talking about Quetzalcoatl. So this is what they ain't telling us. Mar Joseph was a grandson of Sylvanus Ogam or Brabo Barber or David, the great Remani Israelite warrior who defeated the giant, right? Didn't David fight a giant? American emperor of Ogam or Ogier called Druon. This is Ogier flow. Antigoon. Later European legends, Juran means oak, describe the stature of Antigoon like an oak tree, man. The Ogam script was named for Sylvanus Ogam or David. We gotta dig on that, how it relates to the Voynich manuscripts. I've been saying that for years, but it's gonna click one day. this Vonic manuscript, man. We're gonna decode this thing. We might use that old Gom script to help decode it. Solomon II, Shalom, Sulam, Salim, Selvis. All this is Solomon. Solomon is Sylvanus, same name as Shalom or Sulam or Salim or Salvo, who brought it to America or from America to Europe. So this Ogam script, all this Celtic flow connects to it, comes from America. Ogam or Ogham is the legendary home of the ogres, like Shrek. And I believe that they refer to the Olmec culture of Mexico. Say it with me, my naga. Body bag. Yeah, we're talking about the shashir. The sheer. The sheer. Because the Olmec called themselves the sheer. God. Yeah. Olmec had nothing to do with this Neanderthal. Not even a little bit, boss. The Olmec is the she. The she is the Tangu. The Tangu people, yeah, they big, strong, swarthy niggas. The Tangus were valiant, right? We're talking about Davidic warriors, big, swarthy men among them. The Tangu people I saw were tall but swarthy. Come on, man. William and Rubik let you know. Tangu are the Shia. The Tangu are a people inhabited the Shia dynasty, and the Shia were at war with Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan was at war against the great Shia or the Tangu. The Shia are the Olmec Khan. And that X marks the spot, man. That X is the Tau. The Tau is the mark of my kid. We're talking Israel, right? We're talking Hebrew. We're talking about the letter Tau. We're talking wisdom. Alma is the conqueror of all fortune, with her king's reign, according to Proverbs 4 and Proverbs 8. You know what I'm saying? With me, kings, by me, rulers rule, kings reign. You need wisdom to conquer your fortune. What's the Tao, right? So, okay. The Tao, follow the Tao. The Olmec Tao, follow the Tao. Follow the Tao. The she are at war with Genghis in there. Gotta get back on them Jin dynasties, man. We got some good drop on that Jin last time. And it's easy once you kind of figure out who's who and what's what to say, okay, if they was fighting with Genghis, then they're part of the more, or, you know, they're part of the Psalms 83 Confederacy, right? If they are fighting against Genghis, then they're most likely rocking with the Prester. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just by default, you could start coming to some of them, you know, suggestions, you know what I mean? And then you could recon from there and see, you know, just search it out even clearer, man. But so by 650s, right? We just talked about 700s in Kalalus in America. We're talking about Olmecs and them. We talking India Superior. They're gonna bring in Tibet, right? So I'm saying this Mongol flow with the Tibet flow, with the indigenous American flow, with the biblical history, is gonna blow your socks off, man. It's gonna it's gonna mind blast you, man. It's gonna help you see that this whole time you're more important than even you thought you were still, and you knew you was important, but you're more important than that. You're more important than you thought you were. By the 650s, the Tangus had left their homeland to escape pressure from the Tibetans and migrated eastward. Where's east? To what is now modern Shaanxi provinces. 584 to 585, ThaWaDa Ningzong led the first group of Tangus to submit to the Sui Sui. 628, another group under the leadership of Zifeng Boulay surrendered to the Tang after the Tula Hun, or the Hun, were defeated in 635. The Tangus under ThaWaDa Shiki also surrendered. 340,000 Tangus were divided into 32 Jimmy, or Jimmy, Jime, an autonomous administrative political organization system used in China between the 7th century and 10th century. It should not to be confused with the tributary system. The term Jimmy was first seen. Interesting, man. Interesting. Prefectures under the control of Tangu chieftains appointed as prefects. Then you're going to see this Genghis flow creep up in here. They talk Dark Ages. You're going to have to fill that up with something, right? So you go searching and saying, why is it so dark, boss? It's a lot that went in to this more and more war for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Okay. So 17-year-old Cheng Yong succeeded his father, Emperor Rezong of Western Xia, as emperor. Posthumously, Emperor Huzong of Western Lia, or Western Xia. Little besides the rise of Temujin, right? Now we're talking that Genghis flow. And his conflict with Western Xia is known about the Wang Zong's reign. 1203, ThaWaDa was defeated, which we got last time, was just talking about the Prester, the Wang Kang, and he was the blood brother of the Mongol chief Yesugui, who was the father of Genghis. So not blood brother like blood related, but blood brother like they had a blood oath to protect each other, like they were in battle, in war, sworn to protect each other. That's called a blood brother. You know what I mean? So he was supposed to protect Genghis's father. You know what I mean? And Genghis got close to him, obviously, like a son. But then he wanted everything. He turned on his, on this father figure, this uncle figure, this Unc Khan. He turned on the Prester because he wanted to be a David. So Genghis went to war. 1203, ThaWaDa was defeated by Temujin. ThaWaDa's son, Nilka Sengun, fled through Tangu territory. And although the Tangus refused to provide him with refuge, he raided their territory. Genghis Khan used his pretext to raid Western Shia. The resulting attack in 1205, causing one local Tangu noble or Shia noble to defect to the Mongols, the plundering of several fortified settlements, and loss of livestock. 1206, Temujin was formally proclaimed Genghis Khan. So before that, he wasn't Genghis Khan until he took out Tagru Wang Kong, Prester John. This was the turning point. Wang Kong was the name given to Tagru by Gurkhan led Jin dynasty of China. Wang means king or prince during the 13th century. Tagru was one of several Asian leaders. Where's Asia? Who was identified with the legend of Prester John, but also King Dawi. They say a brother to John. Man, stop it, man. There's no credible proof he was a Christian. I know, right? I know. That's crazy, right? So you telling me that as the story starts to unfold, right, as we start to see clearly, clearer and clearer, because we got that dragonfly perspective, we see clearly. Genghis Khan. See, no one really doubts, did Genghis Khan really live or not? Nah. He's just a crazy Mongol going around conquering everybody. A conquering Mongol. Let's talk about the Karkatai, right? Because the successor of Tagru was Kara, right? Q or K, Kara. Okay, back it up. This Prester John flow, which connects to the Fountain of Youth flow, which is the King Arthur flow, Camelot flow, but we're just talking Kalelu's promised land in America, code word Kalelus, but also King David. So I don't have to go far to connect King David to Prester John. It's all over the place. You could just find that. But who's searching for Tagru? How many niggas out there digging on Tagru? Come on. Understanding that that's Prester John, understanding that that's King David, understanding that that is who Genghis Khan is rolling up on. King David. But which David? I don't think it was the Prester. You know what I'm saying? I think it was this David. If I was a gambling man after all these years, I think this is the David that went head up with Genghis Khan, son of Prester John. And possibly he was defeated. Possibly, he was, killed. You know what I'm saying? Murdered. Killed on the battlefield or killed by friendly fire. I don't know. Or not at all. Maybe he got away. But I don't think he went to war with the Raja Hiraja Cholo II. I don't think so. Or, he did, but possibly this is the David that lost in that particular incident, you know what I mean, that we keep hearing about. Told y'all it's the greatest story you never heard of, right? The greatest world war you never heard of. Tagru was defeated by Genghis. King David, or Exarch David, son of Roger. Then it says Tagru's son, Nilka, or what they said before, Nilka Kara, fled through Tangu territory. Tangu territory again is in North America or India Superior, also known as Tanduk, right? Florida, Tangu. Florida, Tangu. Florida, Mexico, Tangu. Let's go. Okay. So Prester John's son fled through Tangu territory, and although the Tangus refused to provide him with refuge and he raided their territory, Temujin used this as a pretext to raid Western Shia. So what was it about Nilka that he couldn't get the Tangus to rock with him? Now, I never heard of this Nilka, right? So I don't know. I mean, did he, turn his back on his people or something? I mean, something happened because normally you would think the Tangus would be rocking with him. Raided their territory. Okay, well, there we go. Temujin used this as a pretext to raid Western Shia. The resulting attack in 1205 caused one local Tangu noble to defect to the Mongols, the plundering of several fortified settlements and livestock. All right, then 1206, Temujin or Genghis is proclaimed Genghis Khan. Now he got the Khan. Who did he take the Khan from? Wang Khan. Right, this is the Khan he took right here. Supplanted and took the same Khan, stole that Khan, the Prester Khan, ruler of all Mongols. That's the Khan of Khans, right? Because the Mongol means great ones, marking the official start of the Mongol Empire. So the Mongol Empire, as we know it, did not officially start until the defeat of King David, Togru. Until King David fell, the Prester, the Exilarch, till that happened, there was no official Mongol Empire. They know it today, which tells you a few things. That these great ones, Mongols, are not the same Mongols under the Prester. And this is what the more on more war is all about. And this is why it's all happening. It's all going up in the empire, American Empire, Promised Land Empire of Kalelu. Bodies on bodies in Kalelus, Akis on Akis, the Amaru. I'm talking Sylvanus to Texas. Genealogy never connect this. Because out of this comes the Israel flow, right? Israel the third went to the Toltec lands of Mexico. Uh-oh. Sylvanus to Texas. Texas. Shout out to my Texas Nagas. His grandson Makir Amarik. Man, all you gotta do is put an A at the end. Come on, man. Stop playing. That's his name. All you gotta do is put an A at the end. They will say Vespu, Amerigo. No, man. Amaric. Amaric. Amari. Amaru. Amaric. Managa is Mexico of the Toltec. These are Davidic Khans. Khans of David. Sylvanus Totaxis is the son of who? David. Solomon the Builder is the son of who? David. Amaric. All this flow are Davidic Khans. Grandfather Tapuzin, who is Israel the Seventh, Edwal, or prince or priest of Quetzalcoatl, who the Mormons call JC. This is their JC, Quetzalcoatl. That's the Mormon flow. But they're now worshiping Quetzalcoatl as a pal. Nah, man. This is Quetzalcoatl is a priest king, and his priest is ThaWaDa, who is the grandfather or the grandson of Mixcoatl, Amaric, who America got his name, who is the grandson of Israel the third. Back to the swans and the swan boats and the swan knights. Let's go. Let's go. Back to the swans, right? The Night of the Swan. I mean, that might gotta be next. Right now we're focusing on Atlantis and the Moorish wizard who's riding on a wonderful winged horse. Alright. Alright. So Astolfo had long kept his steed with care, with secrecy, in his own castle among the mountain peaks, where the wild eagle soared, and the air was fresh and pure, and the busy hum of the laboring world was seldom heard. Sometimes, merely to amuse himself, the knight had mounted his winged courser and taken short flights into fairyland. What's that? Or soared aloft towards the sun, and he had often thought that when Charlemagne's wars were over, because we just talking about Davidic kings in the time of Charlemagne. This is real history, my niggas. Come on. He had often thought that when Charlemagne's wars were over, he was no longer needed, either at court or in the field. He would take a longer flight and not stop until he reached the farthest boundaries of the earth. So now he hastened back to his mountain castle, resolved to make use of the winged steed in his search for the lost hero. He's about to go to the farthest boundaries of the earth. At Astolfo's command, the wanderer's horse was led out of the marble halls where he had been stabled and accoutred for a flight longer than any he had ever taken. It was early morning. The sun was rising, dripping from the waters of the great Midland Sea. The crags and peaks shone like burnished silver against the dark blue sky. The crimson clouds turned golden and then melted away into nothingness. The mountain eagles flew down from the rock-built eyries and screamed around the hero and his steed, and then soared high toward heaven, and as if daring him to a loftier flight. Astolfo vaulted into the saddle. The noble steed spread his wings and leaped into the air. Upward and still upward he soared into the green fields of France, and the rugged mountains of the snow-crowned peaks dwindled almost out of sight. The screaming eagles were left far behind. The great sun seemed not much higher. The sun ain't that high, boss. The whole earth was transformed into a scene of beauty such as the night had seldom dreamed of. Sweet France lay directly beneath them, spread out like a map, its rivers and mountains and forests and fields dimly outlined in the hazy distance. To his right was fair Spain, bounded on three sides by the sea and on the fourth by the great wall of Pyrenees. In front of him was the Midland Sea, stretching away and away as far as the eye could reach, until its shining waters seemed hidden under the sun. And there he saw vine-clad Italy basking in the morning light, and farther away lay the Isles of Greece, where the gods in the golden time taught men the sweet secrets of music and song. And the winged steed sailed onward toward the rising sun, faster than falcon or swifter bird that flies. Over the midland sea he flew, and over many strange countries, and amid many beautiful scenes he came to the land where grow the date and the palm. He soared above the shaggy tops of the Atlas Mountains and the great desert. The great desert. The great desert. Got me thinking about that map. My knock just dropped on a noggin, man. Huh? Whoa. Okay. We still talking Kateo or Cathay, Cambulak, right? Desert of the Indies. All right, keep all this in mind. Yeah. On these islands are the great Falcons for the mighty Lord and Emperor of Kateo, Cathay. And you got the King of the North. Okay. Like Game of Thrones, man. King of Delhi, he is a mighty sultan. His elephants number 700. His knights 100,000. A lot happening in the desert of the Indies. Alexander the Great founded these cities. We're going to get back on that Alexander drop because we connected that with the Prester flow as well. And of course, you got Asia and the Great Desert. The Great Desert. The mighty Tartar prince Magog is over here. His subjects eat no raw meat. In his realm did Alexander the Great see trees reaching the clouds. So his subjects eat no raw meat. All right. And Alexander the Great saw trees reaching the clouds, man. Like Mount Roraima used to be. And we're talking Tartar Prince back to the Grand Tartary flow. And Magog, which has a lot to do with the Prester flow. You know, in that medieval history, medieval empire of America, it talks about how Prester John held back, kept in check Gog and Magog, right? So, yeah, Prester has everything to do with the keeping and the boundaries of Gog and Magog. But what's this great desert about? What's the great desert about? And just remember, when we talk Catan or Cathay, I'm just talking Joktan, who is the proper Arab, because a rabbi, right? A rabbi. This is but the legendary form of the tradition that Catan, because Joktan is Catan, and Catan, like Catan, is Cathay. And this promised land got everything to do with the Yucatan Joktan. Just keep that in mind. Catan is Joktan. We'll get back on Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and the cities of gold. Oh boy. Okay. Wow. Get a little more of this, we just popping off. So I do want to get back on that Sandman Yan. Oh man, okay, so all right. Now check it. He came to the land where grow the date and the palm, soared above the shaggy tops of the Atlas Mountains and the great desert, right, which lies sultry and bare beyond. He winged his way over Nubia and the land of the pyramids and the Nile. Okay, so great desert, Nile, Mississippi, pyramids, American Empire, Mexico. Yet Astolfo allowed not his steed to stop. He had heard of another land still farther, where he hoped to learn tidings of the sad-minded Roland. From Egypt his course now lay southward. He followed the great river Nile, even to its mysterious headspring, and over the boundless regions of Ethiopia. Which one? He directed his flight. He came at length to the wondrous realm ruled by the mighty Prester, and there his steed alighted. The land in which Astolfo now found himself seemed to be a very paradise of delight. So he found himself in paradise. What has Prester got to do with paradise? I don't know. Shit. I mean, what does Prester got to do with David? And what does David got to do with the promised land of Kalaluz? And what does the promised land got to do with paradise? And what does paradise have to do with Grand Tartar, or Paradise? Yeah, what does paradise got to do with Paradise? Paris, Paradise. What's it got to do with Cathay, right? Or Kate, Katai, or Kata? So he's over there flying on his flying animal. I'll just say that. And he's over paradise, and he sees the wanderer's realm, ruled by the mighty Prester John. It was governed by an ancient Christian prince. Stop it, man. Stop it. We're talking about a Hebrew priest king whose birth and lineage were unknown and whose dominion stretched eastward to India. And India is India. Superior boss. Next to Cathay. Kateo. India Superior next to Cathay. Got it. India, eastward, southward to the great sea. In that land, every man was a hero. Not one who wins a name and fame through bloodshed or on the battlefield, but one whose heart is free from gall or guilt, whose brain is clear, whose every deed is noble. They are code keepers. They don't sound like no Christian, not no. Sound like a code keeper, man. No power for your power, most high over everything. Whose every deed is noble. In that land there were temples and palaces and cities surpassing in riches and beauty anything that a staff would ever seen. So we're talking about Kaveri, we're talking about Antioch. Every kind of gemstone was found. Emeralds, sapphires, carbuncles, onyx, beryls, gold was more plentiful than iron. There too every strange and useful animal lived. It was the home of the elephant, the camel, the white and red lion, the white bear, the wild horse, the wild ox. There also roamed those wondrous creatures of which we read in the old myth stories of Greece, such as centaurs and fauns, satyrs, pygmies, strange chimeras. And there dwelt the phoenix, the solitary bird, which after rising 1,000 years burns itself on its own funeral pile, and afterward rises with renewed youth from the ashes. Wow. Renewed youth. Fountain type of talk. Prester John type of talk. Near the place where Astolfo first alighted, there was a garden, and in the garden was a fountain. Come on, man. On either side of the fountain sat two saintly men who were dressed in long white robes. All right, so Then they want to say, oh, then they say, hey, man, you a Christian, man. Stop it, man. Stop it. But yeah, he had to get covered by this water. Standing within the fountain was a pure white stone shaped like a mussel shell, covered by a few inches of water. If what you say is true, said the elder who had first spoken, step now into the mussel shell. Astolfo did as he was burdened, and the water began of its own accord to rise above them 3 times. It lifted itself and gushed over his head, and then the aged man bade him step out of the fountain, and as he did, he felt as if the balmiest days of his youth had returned, and that he should never again be oppressed with weariness or pain. So they went to the land of Prester John, and they got a baptism, right? That's what they tie in his Christianity, like it's a Baptist, but this is John, right? Prester John the Baptist. Right? Johnny the Baptist is a duplication of Prester John, where they were getting dunked in this water and turning back to the age of 32, getting their youth back. Different variations of this fountain we keep coming across, but even when we just look at the Tog'ro Tengu flow, right? Genghis Khan fighting the Tengu. They're connecting it with Prester John and King David. You click on Prester John, then they start getting into these Nestorians. They call them Christians, but no, these are Khans connected to an priesthood. Old kings renowned for wisdom. Magi flow. This is where they're getting the Marvel flow. Strange creatures. Yeah. And then they start connecting that with the Fountain of Youth. Matter of fact, you can't even dig on the Fountain of Youth without them saying, hey, it must be connected to Prester John. I mean, just put in Fountain of Youth. Yeah. And immediately they're going to get into the Alexander romances and the stories of Prester John, right? So Prester John's going to pop right up as soon as you start digging on Fountain of Youth. And it's the same Prester who they're connecting with the Mongol Genghis Khan, war, more, all that takeover stuff happening in 1202. And King David. Back to the Nestorians. Now they don't say Nestorian Christian, but it's a term used in Christian theology and church history to refer to several mutually related but doctrinally distinct sets of teachings. Yeah. This is interesting. I kind of want to see what else they say. The first meaning of the term is related to the original teachings of Christian theologian Nestorius, who promoted specific doctrines in the fields of Christianity and Mariology, theoretical study of Mary. Oh, okay, gotcha. Seeks to relate the doctrine or dogma about Mary to other doctrines, other faiths, such as those concerning JC and notions about redemption, intercession, and grace. Okay, you gotta go through Mary. Second term, meaning of the term is much wider and relates to a set of later theological teachings that were traditionally labeled as historian. So this is the confusion, man. This hijack speaks in the forked tongue. First, they want to connect it with a term they use in Christian theology. Because they use the term in Christian theology does not in any way mean that this person that they're talking about being an historian is a Christian. They're just using the term in theology. They're just guessing. They're just throwing some ideas around. You know what I'm saying? And they're labeling it Christian, right? Nestorianism. Then they say the second one is a much wider term. Right, so it can mean anything, boss, relating to later theological teachings traditionally labeled as Nestorian, but differ from the teaching of Nestorius. So it has nothing to do with Nestorius, the Christian, yada yada, that they want to connect it to. It has nothing to do with that. They differ from the teachings of Nestorius in origin, scope, and terminology. The Oxford English Dictionary defines Nestorianism as the doctrine of Nestorius patriarch of Constantinople, by which Christ is asserted to have had distinct human and divine persons. Hey man, make it make sense, man. But then we get the definition that Nestorian connects to an old king renowned for wisdom or wise counsel. You know, just put in Nestorian, old king renowned for wise counsel. Can't spell. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is the one that they like to make you work to find the drop. I gotta put quotations on this to be real specific. To be real specific. Yeah, man. Shoot, I don't know how much we gotta keep finding as they keep taking down and taking down definitions. That's crazy talk. Hey, pretty soon there's gonna be nothing left on this internet, man. Oh man. The Xi'an Monument. They're talking about China's first encounter with Christianity. Okay. Oh, here we go. Let's do it like this. Nestor. That's what it is. That's what it is. Nestor. I gotta take off the story. Okay. Yeah, so they go Nestorius and they start talking about Nestor, king of Pylos, known for his wise counsel. Old wise man. So now you see you starting to get into this wisdom talk. Something to do with wisdom when it comes to Nestor, man. So, I'm just taking a trip down memory road, seeing how much they done switched up these definitions. Yeah, they done changed a lot up, man. Old king renowned for wise counsel. Let's see what it says here right quick. And then we off to Prester John Legend and his sources. Nestor, old wise man, etymology, Nestor, king of Pylos, who was the oldest and wisest of the Greeks. That's what I'm gonna do. Put in etymology, man. Let's get some etymologies on Nestor's, man. Etymology. Yeah, there we go. You see the word we got to put in for the definition. Etymology. Name for a counselor, wise from experience. All right, man. So when we talk about Nestorians, let's just be clear. Nestor always refers or returns to mama, refers to wisdom, experience. The cons connected to Aman also connects to the blessed, being blessed, one who blesses. So if you're a Nestor, you're one who gives that Baruch, that frequency. You know what I'm saying? You're one that carries the wisdom. You're a counselor. You have a counsel of wisdom. That has nothing to do with Christianity, boss. I just wanted to make that real clear. Real clear, man. So they talking fountain drop when it comes to the Prester for a reason. Because Prester got that water. He got the wisdom to guide you to the water. But you can't come out of cold. You can't come seeking David and not be in cold with HaWah. You can't come investigating Khan Dawi, the Katans and the Joktans and the Ibarus. Can't come investigating us until you're first seeking, my HaWah. You don't get to the Creator by seeking David. You seek the Creator first, directly, and then that water that starts to flow, and you start to seek your things again, your nobility again, because you've gone a long time without a king. You know, you've been a harlot. We've gone after everything else, but being in cold. You know what I'm saying? Verse 3, and I said to her, thou shalt sit solitary for me many days. So we got sat down. This is that Ruach Tardema. You know, this is that deep sleep, that slumber. Thou shalt not play the harlot. You stop being a harlot, you start to see a big difference in your life, man. And thou shalt not be any man's wife, nor will I be thine. I ain't gonna be with you, and you ain't gonna belong to nobody else either. You're gonna have to sit solitary for many days. For the children of Israel shall sit solitary many days. Without the king. Without your king, queen, prince, nothing, man. None of your priestly pillars, ephods, teraphim, sacrifices. Oh, I don't care about your vain sacrifices afterwards. When you finally KTC, shall the children of Israel return, my naga, and seek HaWah, right? You don't get to HaWah by seeking David. You get to David by seeking HaWah. This is the exact opposite of Christianity. Go through the Son to get to the Father. You don't know the Father unless you know the Son. Hell no, that's blasphemy. You got to know the Father and Mother directly. Amma is who they call wisdom, and that's a Nestor, right? And wisdom is the conqueror of fortune, my nigga, right? Proverbs 8. She says, power is mine. I am understanding. You want understanding? You got to go through the Father, and He will give you Mama as a gift. Mama is a gift that Abba gives you. He doesn't just give you Amma and let Mama rock with you. If those are your parents, your father ain't gonna let Mama spoil you if you're out of code. You can't be spoiled by Mama. I mean, she might try to hook you up, but she can't really pop off if you ain't listening to the law of the house. And in Proverbs 8, she say that these are my laws. You got to listen to my laws. These are my ways. Everything I say is excellent. Everything I say is righteous. Mama speak for herself, man. You got to seek the Creator first. That's the order. Not the other way around like JC, Christianity, and these Christian-like camps. You got to seek the Creator first, directly. You got a problem with us saying that you are a hijack and you in hijack city and you in the mind of a hijack. If you think you got to go through any other way, any other means to get to your source, your power, your breath, your security, your existence, to exist, you got to go through a hijack? You can't just breathe? But Adam got that breath directly. You can't just breathe? Wow. You breathe, my nigga. You take that breath. You get in cold. You seek HaWah directly. Then you start popping off in your Prester John investigation because now you are looking for the king, right? Because you've been a long time. And then you realize, oh, this Khan is Khan forever. I'm supposed to seek David in the end of days after IKTC. Because to seek the Creator is to seek the code, to keep the commandments. It's to meditate on not killing, not stealing, and not being no harlot. No bringing each other down with this false witnessing, man. No setting each other up with this harlotry, with this covetous, with this vanity, with this adultery, with this not honoring, lack of honor for your frame and your shaper. This is what gets you here. But you're going to return one day, my naga. This is a Hosea, right? This is Joshua. Hosea is another name for Joshua, another way to say Joshua, right? So there's a reason why Joshua's popping off on David. There's a reason why even in the Qumran text, there's a whole text in the, Qumran scrolls or Dead Sea Scrolls called the Prophecies of Joshua, where he's talking about David returning. And here you got this Joshua, this Hosea talking about David, what? Being sought after. You are returning and in code with the Creator. You seek David and you come trembling unto HaWah. To JC? No. To HaWah. To Muhammad? No. To the Creator. To the Creator, man. And His goodness, which is what? Everything. His land is good. His frequency, the animals, the food, the plants, the garden is good. You'll be humbled to come to HaWah and enjoy that goodness in the end of days. Once you get back in code, and once you are no longer solitary without a king, once you return, Halal HaWah. Feels good to return with you, my Nagi. Not against you. I'm returning with you, my Nagi. Let's get a little more for the dismount. Let's go to, as promised, Prester John Legend and its sources, man. Just looking at the intro right quick before I belly flop, as we like to do. Compiled by Keegan Brewer, man. Let's go. It's always some really interesting stuff, man, when you just take the time to read the fine print of the intros, the mystery or the stories of the mysterious Oriental leader, Prester John. So, we're talking Far East, who ruled a land teeming with marvels and might come to the aid of Christians in the Levant. held an intense grip on the medieval mind, man. This was a big deal. King David is a big deal. He's a big deal in the script, in the Bible, but he's a big deal on the earth. It has received much scholarly attention. This is not just Drop Nation. This has been given much scholarly attention. But never before have the sources been collected and coherently presented to readers. This book now brings together a fully representative set of sources from which we get our knowledge of the legend. These texts, spanning from the Crusades to the Enlightenment, are presented in their original languages in the English translation. Is it play? Oh, who is Prester John? And why is he holding that towel? My nigga, that's the towel. Let's go. Ethiopia, Pretiani, Red, Prester John. I mean, this is high level academias. And again, just digging on the intro or the forward. The aim of this book is to collate and present the major sources for the study of the legend of Prester John for the medieval text. These are supplied in both the original language, usually Latin, and English translation. Because they are less material to the usual discussions of Prester John, the modern texts are presented only in English. Most of the translations here are my own. Two have been reprinted with permission from the copyright holders. Although much of the material presented here has been known in the field of Prester John studies for some time. So we said, what? There's an entire field of Prester John studies? We just started popping off on Prester John. We didn't know that there was a Prester John field of study in high academia. We didn't know that, my nigga. We didn't come through the academic route being introduced to Prester John. We didn't come through the mysterious secret route of the people with the secrets and said, hey, here's some secrets. My nigga, we just started popping off. We just started popping off. And then we realized the whole world is looking for Prester John. But no one's acting like they know about Prester John. No one's acting like they heard about Prester John. But everybody's looking for Prester John. The Portuguese are looking for 500 years. They're connecting it with the Fountain of Youth. We're connecting with the Tangu, Calais Luz, Cities of Gold, Israel, Genghis Khan. Come on. The Samban, yeah. So this is when we really started popping off. We say, yo, there's a whole field of Prester John studies. The primary aim has therefore been to make this material accessible and to supplement the standard Prester John text with less known well material, especially from the early modern era, so we can better understand not only the Prester's genesis and development, but also its later evolutions and slow demise. Wow. So in many ways, this work is the result of labors done not only by myself, and one must always recognize when one is standing on the shoulders of giants. The main writer to whom all those who study Prester John must pay their dues is late 19th century German scholar Friedrich Zarnke, Zarnke. So to the hijack, they got to pay their dues to this German Friedrich, because they got all their studies, coming out of this German scholar. That's crazy, right? Because we just started popping off. Although Zarnik himself profited from his predecessors, he is generally considered to be the founder of the academic study of Prester John. And we said again, we didn't know this was a whole academic study. We didn't know this was a study in high academia, boss. We didn't know this was a whole field of study. We just started popping off. So, hey, don't mind us, man. We just popping off, having a good time. Don't mind us, man. Belly fly. Belly flopping, man. Belly flopping. For the disc, man. Okay, okay. I like this. It's a good belly flop right here. Real good belly flop. You know, it's crazy because we got a piece of this last time. We got a piece of this, but I went a little fast and I wanted to slow it down and just see if we can grab anything else out of this particular letter. I'm going to take my time and read it for the dismount. The William of Rubruck itinerary. Of all the Europeans travelers who visited the Mongol court, William of Rubruck, who sat by King Louis IX of France to to ave, to aven, to evangelize, it's about to say advantageous, to evangelize the Mongols. And in 1250, so they trying to convert the Mongols like they trying to convert the Indians, like the black people, right? Same damn thing. The most highly regarded for his objectivity, detailed descriptions, and anthropological approach to describing the various Asian cultures he came into contact with. He is the first extant writer to openly doubt the famous Prester John. But William did not argue that he never existed, only that his reputation for power and riches was undeserved. So even the hater couldn't say he didn't exist. Gotcha. Gotcha. So jumping into it, it says, at that time when the Franks captured Antioch in 1098, a certain man called Korkan or Gurkhan held the monarchy in those northern parts. Kor, C-O-I-R, in his own name, Korkan or Gurkhan. Khan, the name of his title, which is the same as a diviner or priest. Indeed, they call all diviners Khan. For that reason, the princes are called Khan, because control of the people belongs to them through divination. For that reason, it is read in the history of Antioch that the Turks sent Gorkhan to the king of Antioch for aid against the Franks. Indeed, all the Turks come from those parts. The Gor was the Kara Katai. Katai like Joktan, right? Like Katai like Cathay, right? Kara, right? Let's go. Kara Katai. Katai is the same as black, or Kara is the same as black. Katai, the name of the race, or a pure land, or the people of the pure land. The black people of the pure land, the melanated Nagas of the pure land, the copper-colored Khans of the Amaru Khan, Kalelu's promised land, India superior. Okay. Therefore, Karkatai is the same as Black Katai, and they call them this to differentiate them from the other Katai, right? So we got a piece of this before. Let's just, let's see if we missed something here. So there's some other Katai, okay, that got the title or using the title. These Karkatai lived in certain mountains through which I passed, and in a certain plain between these mountains, there are certain historians, powerful shepherd, a lord over the people called Naaman, which was an historian, Nestor, right? Wisdom, old king renowned for wisdom. They say Christian, stop it. All right, so when Karkad died, the historian race raised himself kingship, and the historians called him King John. And they used to say 10 times more about him than was the truth. For in this way, the historians who come from those parts make great rumors about nothing. So he's just doubting the people. For this reason, they allege that Sartak was Christian in the same of Mangu Khan, Mangi, right? Who we got on that map as well, the Mangi Khan. Monk or Mangi, the G's and C's. Interchangeable. Monkey, Mangu, Mangi, Khan, Khan. Monkey. See how they put the K, key, or Mangi with the G, of the Keuchan, Keuchan, or Gayuk, because they have greater respect for Christians than other people. So he's saying that they was Christians because they respected Christians more than other people, more than other people did, because nobody really did. All right, so, but in truth, they are not Christians. In this way, the great rumor of King John spread. Body bag, right? They are not Christians. Bang. Okay. Okay. And when I crossed through his fields, no one knew anything about him except for a few Nestorians. In his fields lived Keuchan, whose court brother Andreas was attached to, and I also crossed through that on my own return. There was a certain brother to this John by the name of Unk, also a powerful shepherd, and he lived beyond the mountains of those Karakatai, distant from his brother by a space of 3 weeks, and he was lord of a certain little village called the Karakorum, and with the people under him were called Crit, C-R-I-T, or Cariot, or Merkit, or Cariot, who were Nestorians, right? But this lord of theirs, having abandoned the worship of JC, followed out. How do you abandon JC and follow idols when JC is an idol? So by abandoning JC, you are abandoning idolatry by default. Right. Keeping priests of idols with him, all whom call upon demons and soothsayers. So, is this true or is it conjecture? And are these demons dragons? And we're going to talk some dragons, right? So beyond his pastures, 9 or 15 days distant, were the pastures of the Moals, Mongols, who were very poor men, without leader, without faith. This is that part where Genghis Khan is popping out of Moal, and I said 1 letter rule, Moab, ping, pow. What does Genghis Khan got to do with Moab? So these very poor men without a leader, without faith, with the exception of the soothsayers and diviners, or the magi, upon whom everyone in those parts relies, and next to Moab were other poor people who were called Tartars. King John died without an heir, and his brother Unk was made rich, and he himself to be called Khan, and his cattle and herds were sent to the boundaries of Moab. And at that time lived Genghis, a certain worker of the Moab, and he stole what he could of the Unk Khan's animals in such measure that the shepherds complained to their lord Unk. Then he brought together an army and rode to the land of Moab, complaining of that Genghis, and Genghis fled among the Tartars and hid there. Then Unk, having taken plunder from the Moab and from the Tartars, turned back. So then Genghis addressed those Tartars and those Moabs, saying, because we are without a duke, our neighbors overwhelm us. And the Tartars and Moabs made him duke and captain. Then gathering an army in secret, he made an attack against the Unk and defeated him. And Unk, fled to Cathay. Wow. His daughter was captured there, and Genghis gave her to one of his sons as a wife. And this is when they popped off, matriarchy, right? Because the mother of Kublai, all these are daughters of David. Kublai's mom is a daughter of Judah. Judah, manai. Kublai in there. Genghis's children, a lot of them, the higher up ones, are coming from the seed or from, the womb, from the mother, you know, who is a daughter of King David, a seed of David herself. So the Hebrew line is right there, but not just that, the Judah line is right there. And this is what they're hijacking. And this is what Genghis was hijacking when he hijacked Tagrul, the Shishia, the Almec flow, the Kalalus American flow, the Prester flow. He took the daughters, right? He gave her to one of his sons as a wife. And here they go, right? They went to war. Right. Just look at the fine print. Three of Genghis's grandsons, Sartak, Khan of the Golden Horde briefly, 1256 Monkey, Great Khan, 1251 Gayuk, Great Khan, 1246 Sartak, and Monkey in particular were open-minded towards religious plurality. So they were down with the hijack. They were down with all religions, right? They were down with all powers, but they just weren't bowing down to Christianity. They were open to everything, right? So, all right. Unk or Unk Khan is the Mongolian title Ong Khan, or king or emperor, equivalent of the Chinese Wang. You see how it all connects? When Khan means priest in Hebrew, and you're the Amaru Khan, you're the American, right? Don't they spell American C-A-N? They don't call it Khan, they call it Ken. Where they do that at, my friend? Where they call it Ken, my friend? It's a Khan, my friend. It's the Wang. The leader in question named Tagru, right? We just got that. Khan of the Karians or Kara, Mongolic tribe, or Great One tribe of the Nestor, tribe of the old king renowned for wisdom. That was one of the first groups to be conquered and incorporated by Genghis Khan. So Genghis Khan first went at these Shishir, these Tangu, first went at these Olmecs, first went at these Israelites, these seeds of David, Davidic Khans. He went at David first, man. First groups to be conquered by Genghis. And we just surfing the wave, man. Just surfing the wave. So getting back into the letter of Prester John, write out the Prester John letter and its sources. Getting back into this Dracan flow, this dragon flow, as they are getting word of what's in the land of Prester John. As we get into the mythological, we read about flying horses. Let's go. Also, there's towards the south in that region a certain place of ours at which the world ends, which is called the Cavern of Dragons. It is long and wide, excessively difficult, and most severe in severity, and difficult with the deepness and depth that is most deep and most cavernly, and full of secret places. Indeed, in this place there are infinite thousands of terrible dragons. Talking Antarctica bows, Tarzan, which the residents of those surrounding provinces guard with the greatest diligence, lest any wizards from India or elsewhere are able to steal one of those dragons. For in fact, the princes of the Indians are accustomed to have dragons at weddings and at other banquets of theirs, and without dragons, they do not consider the banquet to be complete. And just as cattle and mule herders are accustomed to humble and humanize the horses, we're talking flying horses, huh? To teach them, tame them, call them their own names, to place bridle and saddle on them, to ride them, to ride them. I said to ride them. Nehemiah too, to ride them anywhere they wish. So too these men have custody and command of the dragons, and the dragon commanders humble the same dragons by their incantations and magic. Humanize them, teach them, subdue them, call them by their own names, place bridle and saddle on these dragons, and ride them wherever they wish, man. They riding dragons in the land of Prester John. This is how they getting everywhere. You dig? This is how they visiting all these kingdoms. This is how everybody gets the memo. Everybody gets the note of what's happening in the land of Prester John. This is how the Prester knows what's happening everywhere. Every year, these dragon people release to our magnificence for tribute 100 men, dragon masters, and 100 dragons humanized in this way, which are likely cows amongst these men, or which are like cows amongst men. So the dragons are like cows amongst these Nagas. And when these Nagas play with them admirably by leading them here and there by the head and tail, the dragons are like dogs. Truly, these men with their dragons are our couriers when it pleases our clemency, desiring to know all the news, all the news from every part. We send them with those dragons flying through the air, through every climate of the world, including Antarctica, boss. Ka, ka. Dragons, dragons everywhere in the land of the Prester. Oh, then we yeah, I thought we pulled up another book about. So they said they had to protect their dragons. Why? Lest any wizards from India came trying to hijack the dragons, right? And I said, can we find any more evidence of the dragons being hijacked by these wizards in India? Or are we just talking about the Moors? The Romani. But you know, they're hijacking the Roman, they're hijacking the Romani. We're talking gypsies or we're talking Egyptsy. We're talking Prester John and this land of these gypsies, right? So let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. All right, so page 9 of the PDF. Go, hey, pull up all these links, man. Let's get it. Get in the drive library. Let's get it. Their expectations, no doubt, had some specific relationship with Scripture. Example, Matthew 2, 1 through 12 in the Bible describes the arrival of wise men from the east. Uh-oh. Back to the wise men, the Nestorians, right? Put it together. There's an interesting paragraph written in the 13th century, back in the 1200s, right? When Prester John, Genghis Khan, let's go. By the English philosopher scholar Roger Bacon. We just read part of that letter too. About some exotic strangers in Western Europe called Ethiopians, quote unquote. Now, what niggas is being called Ethiopia in Western Europe, in Spain, in Italy? Now, and what are they doing? It says the reptile that the Ethiopians eat is the dragon. Not any Ethiopians. These specific hijacked niggas in Western Europe, nigga. It's a more and more war. I'm sorry, I get a little upset when I hear about them eating our dragons, man, because they don't deserve to be called Ethiopians. You know what I'm saying? Ethiopians mean you got that fire, you fiery look. These hijacks ain't got that real flame, they ain't got that real fire in the heart. They're eating the dragon to get that fire. Hijack cons. Every con ain't no real con. The reptile that these hijack Moors in Spain are eating is the dragon. For it is well known that wise Ethiopians have come to Italy and Spain and France and England and those countries of the Christians where there are good flying dragons, and that by occult arts which they possess, they drive the dragons out of their caves. And they have an art of preparing their flesh, and they partake of it against accidents of old age, and prolong their lives, and make their intellect subtle beyond estimation. They get wiser. right? We got natural wisdom, right? We are who they're calling nesters, right? We got the wisdom. We got Amma. They got to get it by eating our dragons. And this is from Opus Majus in 1266. It is not necessary to speculate here that these so-called Ethiopians were in fact Egyptsies. And what is Egyptsies? Egypts have to do with the Psalms 83 Confederacy, where they are confederate against you. So your tribe of Israel is no longer in remembrance. How did they get so smart? How did they get so intellectual, so subtle, beyond estimation? They are eating you. Melanin, right? Yeah, melanin's worth how much? What is it? 40 million? Something crazy? For a whole body? A whole body? You're walking around with millions of dollars of melanin on you, man. You don't need that chain. They are getting intellectual by eating us because we are the dragon. The fire, the water, the ether. We are the elements, are we not? We are, the children of Amma Abba with that natural wisdom. We are the head, not the tail, when we keep the code, when we listen to Amma Abba, when we're in order. When we're not, they're eating our dragons and they're eating us and they're getting younger, prolong their lives. We had the fountain of youth. Now they have us. Ain't that some shit? We had the water to make us, young as long as we wanted to be. They eat us to make them younger and smarter and all that, right? Ain't that something? Ain't that something, man? Remember that, oh yeah, that second Baruch, was the second Baruch 73? 72 or 73? Or was it 50? I'm gonna go 73 right. Let's go crazy. Let's go crazy. I said, let's go crazy. For the dismount. Yeah, man. Hey, we belly fly. Look at us, man. All this stuff to remember, we still remember a few things, man. Second Baruch 73. So we got in Prester John legend, his sources out the Prester John letter itself, that there are good dragons in the land of Prester, that they fly, that they got dragon masters. They play with the dragons. The dragons are like dogs when they play with them. These are dragon cons, right? Then we got what we just got, what I'm saying, with this, whole flow of, how they say it. Let's get it over here. There we go. All right, with them eating the dragons. So we got dragons that are being protected. First, we got dragons being protected in the land of the Prester. All right. So too, these men who have custody and command over the dragon commanders humble them, right? Now they gotta guard these dragons from the what? Indeed, in this place there are infinite thousands of dragons which resides in those surrounding provinces, which residents in those surrounding provinces guard with the greatest diligence, lest any wizards from India or elsewhere are able to steal one of those dragons, right? And what happens when they steal the dragons? They eat these dragons using their magic and they get younger and all that. These Ethiopians in Western Europe. Mother sucking hijack. The dragon is giving them more life because the dragon is the vessel where that ruach is contained, according to alchemy. And the dragon means to see clearly, and they begin to see clear, and they have intellect subtle beyond all estimations. Suddenly, we're being told in 2nd Baruch 73 that everything's going to work itself out when it comes to our dragons again. They're eating them. We tried to guard them, but we can't guard the dragons if we don't guard the code. If we don't guard the code, Managa, we lose everything. But when we keep the code, we gain everything. HaWah's fullness, right? Psalm 24, HaWah's fullness. Everything is HaWah in its fullness on the earth. And it will happen after he has brought down everything which is in the world and has sat down in eternal shalom on the throne of the kingdom. And then joy will be revealed and rest will appear. And then health will descend in dew, and illness will vanish, and fear and tribulation and lamentation will pass away from among men, and joy will encompass the earth. And nobody will again die untimely, nor will any adversity take place suddenly. Unjust judgment and condemnations and contentions, revenges, blood, passion, zeal, hate, and all such things will go into condemnation, since they will be uprooted. For these are the things that have filled this earth with evils, and because of them, life of men came in yet greater confusion. What happened, my Naga? Why are you so confused? How'd the Khan get so confused? For these are the things that have filled the earth with evils. Unjust judgment, bearing false witness on a night, condemnations, contentions, more and more war, right? Revenges, blood, passions, gang on gang violence, right? Brother on brother, right? Zeal, hate, and all such things, man. These are the evils, and because of them, life of you, my Naga, is in greater confusion. Verse 6, and the wild beasts will come from the wood and serve men. And those dragons, the asp and the dragons, I said the dragons will come out of their holes to subject themselves to a child. They're not going to be coming out being eaten no more like they were just talking about over here, man. Oh yeah, good fine dragons, and by occult arts, they drive the dragons out of their caves, out of their holes, and prepare their flesh. Nah, they ain't gonna come out the caves to be eaten no more. These dragons will come out of their holes to subject or to submit themselves to the children of Israel. What other children we talking about? Code-keeping Nagas. And women will no longer have pain when they bear their children. Halal HaWah, right? Right, Aqua. Nor will they be tormented when they yield the fruits of their womb. This is paradise, Aquas, when the dragons subject themselves to a child. Halal HaWah. Praise our Creator forever. Hey, you MHOE. You seeking the Creator, you return. You on the Prester John investigation, you seeking King David. Before this, we didn't even know what it meant to seek the Creator. That means you return. That means you KTC. We didn't know what it meant to search for David, man, until we realized David is the Prester, and the Prester is ThaWaDa. Now we can be humble and enjoy the goodness of HaWah, because the end of days is the beginning, my nigga, the beginning of forever. One shepherd forever. And Halal HaWah to the entire Khan dynasty. Keep rocking it, man. And know that it's MHOE for us. The sky is the firmament. The firmament is the work, the handiwork of HaWah. And ThaWaDa, man, for making us so solid around here. My jigger take the wheel. ThaWaDa to the cons, man, for letting me know what this investigation means to you. My bro Draylen Carr, I appreciate so much, you know what I'm saying, of what you've been able to express and what is meant to you. Up the con fat, what it do? He said, what it do? Wash ra. It's a beautiful flow of the pure water. Hosea 3:5, man, we just right there, con. We will see our con. While I was learning about HaWah and Con David, I found myself too. It starts to pop, like pop in my, something like that. Like popcorn, popping like popcorn in my mouth. I think it meant popping like popcorn. Okay. Halal HaWah for it. Hey, shalom to the con, man. This is beautiful. We gonna get our granddaddy water back, right, yourself? We gonna get that granddaddy water back, right, con? And we out of here, baby. ThaWaDa to the cons forever, man. We gonna bump some tribal music as we take this victory lap, cause we earned it. Earned the vibration. You came here for the vibration, right? Not the information, the vibration. Halal HaWah.
Prester sparks, and everybody hard. Some be marks, shoot darts and no tests, no trace DNA, vicious men, no God, Babylon. Welcome to the new America.
Let's go.
They forgot to wow, like no shit, locked up no child, drug clouds on fly. ThaWaDa only got by somehow. The venom penetrated the brain, smells, necromancies, too naive to comprehend. Lie. It's Halal HaWah, everything was. I throw back on that ass, real nigga do real things. I take back my grandfather's wallet, now hold it up on the board. Clutch on crunch, my veggies so fresh, don't jump. Come up like ThaWaDa in the face of adversity. Original Dutch, original Goose, original German, original Knock, original Juice. Mama milking her guts, being
Don't walk time like Roos. Still my granddaddy walk.
You saw my granddaddy walk, set it down, from drunk and out. We tried to find, so we gave to his dog. And she turned to him, he told she was a little gal, and she deserved it. He saw my granddaddy walk, set it ball, from a soldier in the galley, who walked on, and said he gave to his dog, who never liked it. So she talked in the vibe of her closet. He saw my granddaddy walk, cold hard, and he smiled to his face before he shot. Then he gave it to his dog with blood on it. And she gave it to his son who thinking young. They got my granddaddy walk.
Go.
Sideways when I bend down on the county street. It's 38 myself feeling like that week. This feeling is my turban and it's big tight. These Jordans on my sandals feeling like mine. This t-shirt is my garment, we stick to the code. We trade lucky charms and pockets gold. Granddaddy still here, say don't be a target. If I can go back there, I say don't be a martyr.
Sideways up here down these county streets.
It's 45 myself feeling like that week. Searching for that wall with the stains. All I see is arms with stains.
All I see is hearts with them stains on. Drop Nation, we just getting started. Hey, love the confab, man. ThaWaDa HaWah, man. Hey, ThaWaDa Hano, call me Hano. We on Prester 111 now. We on 112, man. And this is a drop that keeps on dropping and a water that keeps on flowing. Because the investigation around here, boss, the investigation continues. ThaWaDa for surfing the wave with me. I'm surfing the wave with you. ThaWaDa for your energy, for your patience, for your support. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just for your steady inspiration, you know, for every bit of, you know, you pushing and sharing the information and sharing the vibration and building up the Nagas around you. That's what we're doing it for. Everything you building, man, is for HaWah. Everything we building is for HaWah. And they've never seen nothing like this before, my Naga. There's never been an investigation like this. It's never been these Nagas popping off across the plain. You know what I'm saying? Talking about Halal HaWah and tribing up. Never in no recent history since Kalalus, man. So we back. We here. The original Nagas. The Amarukan Nagas. Stay up. Suit up. Choose up.